Welcome, welcome, and welcome. And I started a video yesterday, um, brining some turkey parts, and this is the final not showdown, but the final part of this recipe where I'm going to take them out of the brine, season them, and have them cook, and I'll cook them in the oven at a low temperature and let it slowly cook until that meat falls off the bone. So we're going to have a lovely tender turkey legs and turkey wings for any time of the year, not only for the holidays. So before further ado, let's go get those guys out of the brine and seasoned. So here we are. This is our brine that we made. Actually, the meat was sitting in here for like 48 hours actually, so it should be nice and well brined. This is a part of the wing. We're going to take these out now, and we are going to dry them off. We have to dry them thoroughly before we do anything else with them. So just get them all out and take you just remove all the greens and the stuff that's on there. And we'll discard of the brine. Here's this wonderful leg that I have in here, nice and large and juicy. Here's the other one. So I list the ingredients again for the brine. And we had some molasses in there, some honey, kosher salt, brown sugar, orange peels, onions, garlic, cilantro, and we had them sitting for about 48 hours. First I was saying 24, but then didn't get a chance to do it in 24. So I had to go for the 48 option. So let's see if there's anything else in here. No. Nope. There's a wing hiding out in here. There are two wings hiding out in here. Okay. There are three wings hiding out in here. And that's it. Okay. So we're going to discard of the brine. Get rid of this. Throw that out. Then we're going to go to our turkey parts or turkey pieces and dry them off thoroughly with some paper towel and a nice if you have a nice thick kitchen towel, you can start with some paper towels. A nice thick kitchen towel. You'll remove all of the greens that are on there and set it aside, and we're going to make that rub, that seasoned dry rub that we'll dress it with before we bake it. So I'll be back. So I'm using a nice thick towel to really dry these parts off. And you see how they have a nice rich red color in there from the brining. And every piece I'll just dry it completely with this towel, the wings and the legs. Make sure that it's really dry. Okay, so I'm going to continue drying, finish the rest off, and I'll be back. So for my dry seasonings, we're gonna go with my go-to, my Bullion powder. I'm gonna use, maybe I'll make a dry rub with maybe a quarter cup of Bullion. That's a complete seasoning, about 2 or 3 tablespoons of that. I'm gonna go with my Tajin, also about 2 tablespoons of that. Some Sriracha ginger lemon, and I'll get some some black pepper, and we'll do some paprika, maybe 2 tablespoons of paprika, some oregano, and some dried thyme. Also have to get some dried thyme in here. I'm not using anything with salt, any straight salt, because my Bullion has a heavy salt content already. So so I'm going to measure out these ingredients, these seasonings, these dry seasonings, and we're going to and then I'm going to massage it into the meats. Now I'm taking a boning knife and I'm just running it through the insides of the legs because it's a little thick. I'm just running it through there. Any knife you can use, but this one goes in further. It's a boning knife and it goes in really far into the meat and just creates a little cavity there, you know, so that you can get some seasoning in there. Then also I'm going to have some softened butter with lemon zest, and that I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that. Lemon zest whipped into the softened butter, and we're going to use that at the end once I'm finished the dry seasonings. Okay, so let me measure up and create my dry seasonings, and then I'll be back. So now that I have my mix here, I'll just coat it with a little bit of olive oil. Just a little bit of olive oil. Rub it up. That's going to help it to stay moist and also help the seasoning to adhere to it. Okay, so the seasoning to adhere. So here we are. We're going to pick them up one by one and just rub it in here. Just rub it in. See that seasoning? Seasoning sticks right on there. But the olive oil, seasoning sticks right on there. I also have some pepper flakes in there just to give it some heat. You know, I never turn without my pepper flakes. So let's put this up here. Try to get those cavities that you created, just to get some seasoning in there. Just to get those cavities. All seasoned. Lovely. So I'm going to get a large enough baking dish that will carry everything, or as many as I want. I think I'm just going to do like 2 and 4, so to speak. You don't want to crowd the pan too much. You probably use 2 pans. Probably use 2 pans. Another thing is the legs are going to take longer than the wings, so I prefer to maybe separate them, you know, in 2 separate pans. Put the wings in 1 pan, put the legs in 1 pan. That would make more sense, wouldn't it? Okay, so once I get my pans together, oh, one other thing, I remembered, I did mention the butter and the lemon zest. So let me get my butter whipped with the lemon zest. I'll be back. So as you can see here, I have some lime zest instead of lemon zest. I thought I had lemons, but it was all gone. You can substitute the lime zest once it's a citrus, or if you can even use like an orange zest. So it's very forgiving. But you just want to have this into the butter, infused into the butter. So you just drop it in there in the softened butter. It's like you're making a lemon butter or a lime butter. And you just mix it all in here. I kind of take a fork and just like whip it. You already have your seasonings in there, so you don't have to put anything in here. So here you have your lime butter. Okay, now you'll just take this, lift the skin, find a pocket there, lift the skin, and just take your finger and just massage it in there. Just push it in there under the skin as far as you can go, right? On one side, and you can do the other side. Or use your hand and just push it in there. Make a pocket. Let it get all the way in under the skin, and it's going to create that juicy taste. Lift the skin. You take the lemon or lime butter and just push it all the way in there. Make sure it gets all the way in and over the skin, under the skin, over the meat. Just push it all in there, and then you bring the skin back and just lay it down there. Okay, so here we go. We're going to do the rest, and then I'll be back. Well, since we've done seasoning and putting our lemon butter under the skin, I'm just basting the bottom of this pan with some more butter to prevent sticking. And once it gets going, and there's several things you can do here. You can put some vegetables onto there if you want to, if you care to, but I'm just going to do these guys like that, straightforward. And see, they're looking nice and shiny here. So here we are. We're going to cover this. I'm going to cover this. Another little tip, I'm going to cover it first with some plastic wrap. I'm going to cover first with some, here we go. I did some plastic wrap. As you can see, I did some plastic wrap, but it has to be a professional grade plastic wrap. So that will hold the steam in there, and it will be steaming wonderfully, and it's going to be really nice and tender. now we'll do 300 for about 2 hours, and we'll check it. At the 1 hour mark, we'll check it and see how it's doing. But we'll let it go maybe for like an hour and a half before you even look at it. So it should take maybe 2 to 2.5 hours. And as I said, the wings are going to take a shorter time. So as I'm putting it into a separate pan here. Get all the goodness out of here. Very good. Just get them in there. Get them all in here. And these are going to take maybe an hour and a half. Maybe an hour and a half tops for it to be done at 300. So I'm doing everything at 300. So let's get them all covered up and into the oven. Okay, get it nice. Cool. Into the oven, 300 for probably an hour and a half. We're all set. Okay guys, after an hour and a half, I'll be checking on the wings. We'll see if the wings are tender and if they're ready to be taken out. So here they are. Let me get a fork. Here they are. Oh, they're falling off the bone already. So this is good to go. What I'd probably do, I'll just turn them over and let them baste in that liquid a little, and then just turn them over and let them baste in that liquid. So I'll turn each over. I'll let them get a nice baste in the liquid, and I'll probably just put it back just for maybe 5 minutes so that it can get some of the liquid absorbed into it and dried out. But as you can see, they're soft and they're delectable. These are the wings, the turkey wings that I brined, the turkey wings. So we'll just put them back just for 5 minutes and I'll leave it open. And once again guys, I am back, and it took about 2 hours, or 2 hours and 15 minutes for the legs to finish. The wings were done in about an hour and a half to 2 hours, and the legs took about an extra hour. So, and here we are. Let me take one out. Okay, here we go. Get it on a plate here. It's so tender. It just falls off the bone. Oh yeah, it's so succulent. Succulent. This is one of the best recipes that I've ever tried, and I hope you will try it also and give me a feedback. You can brine for 24 hours or even less if you're going to do parts. If you're going to do parts, turkey parts. If you're going to do the entire turkey, I would advise you to do the 24 hours, at least a full 24 hours, because the breast, remember the breast is very thick meat and there's lots of meat in there. So and for it to really submerge and absorb the liquid and the flavors. So once again, guys, thank you for watching and enjoy. Happy holidays.